Is the P365 macro the right gun for me? No, it's not. Let me tell you why. What's up, guys? I'm Leverboy. And that right there?
I am Lord Ripley.
Lord Ripley. Okay, first off, I want to tell you that I've carried all three versions of the 365. The standard, the XL, and now the macro. So I have real world experience with each one. So I want you to understand the mindset that I'm coming from. This gun is supposed to be small, and it's not. At least it's not small in the only part that counts when you're trying to conceal carry it, the grip. I mean, look at this. This sucker has the same length grip as my full-size Beretta 92. Now I know you can conceal a full-size grip. In fact, I just made a video about concealing bigger pistols, but it's the willingness to conceal a bigger picture. But it's the willingness to conceal a bigger pistol that I'm lacking. I don't want to do it. You can't make me do it. Your mama can't make me do it. Your daddy can't make me do it. Your bald-headed granny can't make me do it.
I'll make you do it.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
The 365 macro, while it still is a very small pistol for what it is and what it holds, 17 capacity, it's just not the small pistol that it once was. Now, the original 365, which is the smallest version of it, I had, and I concealed it for a really long time and it worked out great. But just because I wanted to experiment with some other guns, I decided to sell that gun just to see what else was out there. Well, about that time, the XL model was released from SIG, and at first I kind of snickered at the XL model, looking at it and saying, why are they making the gun bigger? It's not going to be as easy to conceal if they're trying to increase the size. Well, curiosity got the best of me, and I ended up ordering the XL model, and I loved it. Now, dimensionally, the XL is bigger than the standard 365, both in the barrel and in the grip, but it doesn't add so much length to it that it affects its concealability. You can still conceal it very easily. And that's why I love the XL model, because I could get all of my fingers on the grip and I could still hide the pistol very well on my body. So even though I love the XL model, there was a couple things that bugged me about it that only pertained to my specific model. The first one was it lacked a manual safety. I want a manual safety on my carry gun. That's how I train, that's how I like it. And the second thing was it was the NRA edition, which means it came in the FDE tan color. And while I normally like that color, it kind of matched my M17, I didn't really want the tan color for my concealed carry gun. Black just works the best, it blends into the shadows, and that's what I wanted. I got that version of the pistol only because I found it at a good price. And that's what dictated my willingness to buy it. So it lacked the manual safety and it was in the wrong color. Now, rather than try to just swap out the grip module, okay, and add a safety to it, which you can do, I know you can do these things, I didn't want to swap out the grip module and then have a two-tone thing going on, because I would have wanted black if I had gotten the module. And then I had a brown upper and a black underbelly, and I just didn't really want that two-tone thing going on. Unless it was that Lara Croft two-tone. That one looks pretty good. Okay, so I sold my XL model with the intent of just getting the black version with the safety. Well, right about that time, SIG released the X Macro. Now, what the X Macro had that I instantly noticed that I really liked was that two things. First one, you could swap out the back straps on the pistol, which is a big deal for me because I usually prefer a hump in the back of the grip. And I noticed some third-party companies offering a really nice looking hump back strap, and that was what really caught my eye. The second thing was just that the grip itself was thicker. The standard and the XL models both suffered from a very thin grip, and I had to add a rubber molded Hogue grip to each of them to make them feel good in my hands. But with the macro, it looked like it was going to be good right out the box. That was very appealing to me. Well, I also noticed that the macro grip was going to be a little bit longer than the XL's grip. But I was like, you know what? The XL grip was a little bit longer than the standard grip, and it didn't bother me on printing. So I just assumed that with this just little bit of an added length, it wasn't going to affect me at all with the macro. Well, I was wrong. You see, the grip on the macro is longer. But on top of that, the magazine that holds a whopping 17 rounds, and it's very impressive, it sticks out even further, which makes this grip now, because that magazine's as flush as you're gonna get with the pistol, that means that grip is now the same size as my full size Beretta 92. Okay, now that's just unacceptable to me. If I wanted a pistol, if I'm gonna carry a full-size pistol, I'm just gonna carry a full-size pistol. I'm not gonna carry around the macro that has the same print as the full-size. So I didn't really appreciate the fact that my macro, which is supposed to be my ultimate concealed carry gun, is now bumping shoulders with my full-size guns as far as the grip is concerned, okay? Now, everywhere else, the gun is awesome. It's very light and it's really thin. It's a very thin frame on it, and I like that a lot. It's just that grip length. That is the part that ends up printing when you are trying to carry it every day. And I just wasn't willing to put up with it. So that's why I feel like, through no fault of its own, it was entirely my fault for choosing the gun, because I looked at the dimensions of the gun and decided to brush them off. But for all those factors, I've decided the macro grip now is just trash. It doesn't suit the purpose that I have bought it anymore. Other than the grip being too long, the macro is a great gun. It doesn't have no malfunction. I've only shot it one time. I've only been to the range one time with it, but my other 365s, I've never had any issues with any of them. And for the simple fact of the grip being too long, that's the only thing I have against it. Everything else about the gun is fantastic. So you're asking yourself, well, Luke, what gun are you going to get then if you don't want the X macro anymore? Well, there's nothing wrong with this gun other than the lower half grip module. So, like we all know, with SIG, you can just easily swap out the grip modules. And that's what I plan to do. And I kind of debated with the fact that, should I go back all the way and just get the original 365 grip module that's the shortest and just have the XL frame on it? But I decided I want the XL. Seeing how many grip options is available these days, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get the XL. That's the one I love the most out of all three of these, and that's the one I want. Now, I know you know that I know that you know there is multiple third-party companies that make the XL grip modules now. I want you to put in the comments what your favorite grip module is from these companies. I have never experienced any other grip module except the standard one from SIG. So I'd like to hear from all of you which one you think is the best. Okay? All right, appreciate you. Now, if you wanna, please remember to join me on Patreon too. If you like the channel and you wanna support the channel, that's the best way to support me. And there's also a thing called Super Thanks on YouTube that they started doing. If you don't want to do Patreon, I suggest you do that. That's really quick and easy to do. And me and Ripley, where's she at? Abandons me at the end of the video. We would both really appreciate it if you donated to either one of those platforms. So if any of y'all are interested in the other pistols that I conceal carry, then I suggest you check out my video right here. A couple of them are even bigger than the macro, so after all my bitching and moaning about the macro being too big, I actually carry two pistols that's bigger than that. Yep.